Hi guys, Mr. B here, and today we're going to be looking at metric measures. So we're going to be looking at what they are, and we're going to look at the different ones that we use for, say, length, volume, mass, and then as well as that, we'll be looking at how to convert between them. So let's get straight into it, and we're going to look at the different metric measures we might use for length. So with metric measurement, when we're looking at length, we're looking at millimetres, which we shorten to mm, centimetres, which we shorten to cm, metres, which we shorten to m, and then lastly kilometres, which we shorten to km. Now we're going from smallest to largest here, so this is our smallest unit, which we'd use to measure very small things. Centimetres we'd use to measure things like pencils, maybe tables, things like that. Metres, things that are a little bit bigger, maybe fields, classroom sizes we'd use for metres, and kilometres we'd use for long distances. So let's look at how to convert them. So firstly, we need to know how many millimetres in a centimetre in order to convert them. Now there are 10 millimetres in a centimetre. That means if we want to convert from millimetres to centimetre, we divide it by 10. So if you had 100 millimetres, divided by 10, you would have 10 centimetres. And obviously the other way around, because of that, if you've got centimetres and you want to turn it to millimetres, you would times it by 10. Now, with centimetres and metres, there are 100 centimetres in a metre. So again, if we want to turn centimetres into metres, we divide by 100 because there are 100 centimetres in every metre. And vice versa, if we're going from metre to centimetre, we're timesing by 100. Now, as you can see, there's some patterns starting to emerge in here. And what's really going to help you is my timesing by 10, 100 and 1,000 video. If you're not sure of how to do it, easy way to do it, the video link will come up there. Click on that, it'll show you how. Because when we're looking at metres, there are 1,000 of them in a kilometre or a kilometre. So in order to turn from metres to kilometres, we have to divide by 1,000, and to go from kilometres to metres, we times by 1,000. That's the different measurements that we use and how we convert between them. Now let's go to mass, as how heavy something is, and look at the different metric measurements we use there. So with mass, how heavy something weighs, we have these three here in metric measurement that we tend to use the most. We have milligrams, we have grams, and we have kilograms. So milligram, again, smallest to largest. This is something really, really small, like grain of sand type things we're measured with milligrams. Grams, we would measure something maybe a little bit heavier, things like maybe chairs, bottles, things like that. Kilograms is what we measure our heaviest things in, okay? So, with this one, there are 1,000 milligrams in a gram. So again, in order to convert, we need to divide by 1,000. And if we want to go down, so from grams to milligrams, we times by 1,000. Now the same with grams and kilograms, there are 1,000 grams in a kilogram, so we do exactly the same thing to go there. Okay, go backwards. Now what I forgot to mention when we were doing the lengths there is, yes, I'm showing you, say Mr. B showed me how to go to kilograms to grams. What happens if a question asks me to go from kilograms to milligrams, or I need to go from kilograms to milligrams? Okay, well it's really quite simple, and you can do it the same with the measurement that we're looking at there. But with the kilograms here, if I want to get to milligrams, I can do two things. I can either, firstly, I'll convert them to grams by times by 1,000, and then whatever answer I get, I'll convert that into milligrams by times by 1,000, or I'll get my answer. Or I can times by 1,000,000, okay, to get my milligrams straight away. And I know that because there are 3 zeros here, 3 zeros there. So I'm going to put them together, so I'll get 6 zeros, and that means I put 6 zeros on the end if it was, say, it was a whole number, whichever way is easy for you. I tend to stick with the 10, 100 and 1,000 because I'm doing it in steps, making sure I'm not making a mistake, making sure I'm timing it by the right amount. Now we've done mass, let's move on to volume or capacity. Now we've got metric measures here, and there's two main ones we use in metric measures, and they are millilitres and litres. Now volume and capacity, okay. Now we're moving on to volume or capacity. So volume is how much of something we can fit in something, okay? So volume and capacity mean the same about the thing. It's how much, I don't know, pop you have in a bottle, how much water you can fit in a bath. Capacity, things like how many people you can fit in a stadium, is how much stuff of something you can fit in a space, okay? So we have millilitres and litres for our volume. Okay, again, smallest to largest. Millilitres, what we normally measure, say our cans of pop and things like that in, how much we have in, our bottles of water. Our litres, we'd be looking at bigger bottles of water and bigger amounts of volume, okay? And to convert between those ones, there are 1,000 millilitres, okay, in a litre. So to go from millilitre to litre, we divide by 1,000, and to go from litre to millilitre, we times by 1,000, okay? As you might have noticed, some of the different measurements that we use have similar things at the start, like milli, kilo, centi, okay? What I want you to do is, for yourself, what do you think those words mean? Have a look through the words. A millilitre, a millimetre, what do they have in common? What do you think those words means? Okay, I'll tell you, it's got something to do with how many go into the next one. So that's all the different metric measures that we need to look at, the ones that I use the most, and tells us how to convert between them as well. Hope you found that video useful, guys, and if you have, please give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. You'll get notifications of any videos that I put up as and when I do. Please share it if you know anyone that will benefit from this and find it useful. And if you've got any questions or anything, comment or use the Twitter or the Facebook page. Till next time, see you later.